Hi, my name is Vera Grossman, and I go to Special Music School High School in New York City. Near the beginning of my freshman year, I got an email about a club with limited spots in which students would cultivate hydroponically grown greens, something I had never heard of before. I was hooked, and within the first 30 minutes of receiving the email, I responded, desperate for a spot. I remember begging to be admitted as I went on and on about farming and how being a part of the club would be a dream come true. So during the 2020 lockdown, I was able to join the hydroponic club virtually. I could have never imagined what I would learn in the long run and the bonds I would form and how much it would mean to me by the end. We were learning about food justice and global warming in relation to hydroponic farming. That year, I became a so-called hydroponic green farmer, and I began to tell everyone about it because I was proud of this achievement. Growing hydroponic greens at home was more than just fun and cool. It inspired my cooking and some deep reflection on the food I ate and bought and how it was grown before reaching my plate. Not to mention, the process of growing these greens was so simple, the hardest part being the wait. Here's a picture of avocado toast with hydroponic greens that I harvested. I remember eagerly waiting for a package containing my grow kit to arrive at my front door. When it finally did, I excitedly opened the big brown cardboard box to find various containers, grow mats, dry nutrients, as well as broccoli, radish, sunflower, and mustard seeds. I started immediately, first poking the holes at the bottom of the shallow container, putting the mat on top, the lid underneath to catch the water, and lastly, pouring out the various seeds. Once a week, I would water my plants, which I quickly became attached to, as I watched the seeds crack open and green leafy sprouts spring up. Being able to see the progress and growth in the span of days and weeks was mesmerizing and only built my anticipation for harvesting and preparing food with them. As someone who lived in an urban area all of my life, when observing the school lunch menu, I noticed it wasn't very healthy. They served us a bunch of processed, sugary, and sodium-filled foods, such as chicken nuggets, French fries, corn dogs, and French toast. Before I joined Teens for Food Justice, I didn't see my potential in inspiring changes to whether these unhealthy foods were served at public schools. However, after learning more about the effects these foods have on students' learning, not to mention health, I realized I do have this potential. I decided to devote myself to the topic and try my best to impact on the front line of public school lunches. I'd always known that food impacted learning, but I never knew to what extent, until after researching and finding out that an overconsumption of sugar is detrimental to brain health and can lead to memory issues, sugar addiction, and decline in general health. According to the American Heart Association, it is not recommended to exceed 25 grams of added sugar for women and 38 grams for men. And yet, in the chocolate milk served at schools alone, there is already 8 to 12 grams of added sugar, and when adding the rest of the processed school lunch food served, students surpass a healthy sugar balance. This can lead to an excessive amount of glucose, the substance that fuels cellular activity in the brain, which studies have linked to memory and cognitive deficiencies. Clearly, properly nutritious diets that include natural and real foods would improve academic performance in students. Continuing to serve highly processed and sugar-filled foods increases the likelihood of students scoring lower on tests and having a harder time with schoolwork. Our bodies need healthy food with certain vitamins and nutritious values to help fuel our brains. These nutrients help in building brain structure, which promotes cells working and helping us think, learn, and do tasks. Some of the key nutrients and vitamins include B vitamin, vitamin E, omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and choline, most of which are in hydroponic greens. When our brains are deprived of the proper nutrition needed, or if damaging inflammatory cells or free radicals are circulating in the brain's enclosed space, it is expected that there will be further contributing to brain tissue injury. Not to mention, studies have linked that there is a correlation between high refined sugar diet and brain functions being impaired. There is also a worsening in mood disorder symptoms which can occur. Though it is a very popular saying, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, that isn't necessarily so, especially for school-age kids and teens such as myself. In most schools, not everyone is entitled to breakfast, so lunch is the only meal that students can rely on to get energy from to power through the long school day. To ensure students at schools have the proper nutrition to get through the school day, lunch menus should include options that not only meat eaters can have, but pescatarians, vegans, and vegetarians as well. Hydroponically grown greens are that exactly. It can be both a side and main course that everyone can have. Growing hydroponic greens is so simple and so rewarding in improving health, mindset, and in considering where something came before consuming it. Coming back to in-person school and actually working at the MLK hydroponic farm was so gratifying and helped me make an impact one harvest of lettuce at a time. Here's a picture of me and my peers delivering some hydroponically grown lettuce to our school cafeteria. If we don't act on trying to bring awareness and advocating availability of healthy, hydroponically grown foods to be available at all schools, many students will continue to consume unhealthy school lunches served. Thank you.